ChatGPT just leveled up. It can now browse the web, run tasks, open apps, and basically act like your digital sidekick on autopilot. Sounds amazing, right? Well, here's the thing. Just because it can do more doesn't mean it's always better. I put it to the test with real-world use cases to see what it delivers, where it misses the mark, or even making things harder than they need to be. I tested hands-on with real examples, both the wins and the fails, and in this video I will show you exactly where it shines, where it struggles, and whether it's worth your time. Hi, I'm Bogdan, and if you're into AI tools, automation, or just making your digital life easier, you're in the right place. Today we are diving into ChatGPT's new agent feature. It's now included in the ChatGPT Plus and Team plans, giving paid users access to do way more than just chat. We are talking about automated workflows, deep research, form filling, even presentation building. But is it just hype? I wanted to find out, so I put ChatGPT Agent through 4 detailed tests, 2 that worked surprisingly well and 2 that flopped hard. So, before we jump into demos, let's quickly break down what AI agents actually are without the jargon. An AI agent is basically an upgraded version of ChatGPT that doesn't just answer your questions, but it can take action. It can browse the web, fill out forms, create files, and follow up multi-step workflows. Imagine it like a digital intern that can Google things, collect data, and build outputs, all inside a secure virtual desktop. OpenAI built this by combining 2 earlier tools: the operator, which handled web navigations and actions like clicking buttons, navigating menus, and even allowing to log in, and then deep research, which was better at scanning multiple pages and compiling accurate, structured insights from across the web, basically acting like an advanced research assistant that connects the dots between different sources. Now they've merged it into one unified experience called Agent Mode. Before we dive into the real-world use cases, let me give you a super quick look at the agent dashboard. When we open Agent Mode in ChatGPT, here we will see a few tabs like Suggested, Reports, Actions, Spreadsheets, and Presentations. These are basically templates or starting points for different types of tasks you might want to run. You can use them directly, or you can write your own custom prompt. Alright, now let's test what this agent can actually do. For this test, I want to see how well can ChatGPT Agent handle a full-on content creation task, something a lot of solopreneurs and marketers deal with. Let's ask it to research and outline a blog post titled Top 5 AI Automation Tools for Solopreneurs in 2025. Browse the web to find tools with actual websites and pricing, include 1 paragraph of description for each tool, format the result as a markdown blog post with headings, and at the end give a quick summary of how these tools help solopreneurs save time. The agent launches a virtual machine environment with a browser and terminal. It opens multiple tabs, browses several AI tool websites, and extracts content using deep search. One helpful feature is the real-time dialog box that appears on the side. It clearly walks you through each action the agent takes, step by step. From opening tabs, to clicking buttons, and navigating menus to extracting content, you can follow along without guessing. It even opens a terminal to run some operations, pretty cool to watch in action. The process took around 6 minutes, which is way longer than a regular GPT reply, but it was browsing the web and pulling live data. Now, here's something important. When I try to download it as a Word document or a PDF file, I get an error that says failed to download file, please try again later. But it does give me a shareable link to open the content in ChatGPT's browser, and that works fine. We can also share the link to social media platforms like X and LinkedIn. The end result was a nicely formatted blog post in Markdown. Was it flawless? Not really, but as a first draft it's honestly solid. It understood structure, tone, and pulled actual tools with descriptions. This is one of those tasks where Agent Mode does save time if you need a big picture outline, and for weekly creators and content teams, this could be a great time saver. Next, let's test whether the agent can build a presentation deck. I can click on the Presentations tab and use one of the examples available. However, I want to give it a specific prompt about my niche, something like create a slide deck titled How Solopreneurs Can Use AI to Automate Their Business in 2025. Include 6 slides, title, problem, solution, tools, use case example, and CTA. Browse the web for your examples. The agent starts searching through thousands of articles to gather data. It then outlines the slides while providing real-time updates in a sidebar. You can follow its step-by-step actions using the progress bar, making it easy to see what's doing at each stage. It even opened the terminal to handle some tasks behind the scenes. For visuals, first it creates simple placeholder images without text, then regenerates them using abstract shapes for more polish. One interesting part was seeing it generating an image specifically for the use case slide, showing it's capable of some design logic. This process took about 15 minutes, but to be fair, I didn't have to do anything while it worked. That's 15 minutes where I could focus on something else. Now that it's finished, it gives me the option to open the full presentation in preview mode and use the play slideshow button to walk through the slides just like you would in PowerPoint or Google Slides. The formatting looks clean and the slide flow makes sense. Once we are happy with the presentation, we can download it as a PowerPoint file and we can even make any changes we want in PowerPoint. I would say this is another solid win for the agent. It won't replace Canva, PowerPoint or Google Slides, but it gives a working skeleton to start from. For solo entrepreneurs prepping for webinars, product pitches or tutorials, it's a real time saver. This next one should be a no-brainer. Booking a hotel should be fast, simple and smooth. I'm asking the agent to find and book a hotel for a one-night stay in Barcelona from August 16 to 17, 2025. The budget needs to be under $250 per night, and I would prefer it to be near city center. The agent opened booking.com, and as we can see, it tries to apply the right filters, but it struggles with the price slider, selecting values like $230 and then $260 before correcting itself. It took 8 minutes to complete the flow. However, it does scan through various available hotel options to try and find the best matches for my preferences. It goes through different combinations of filters and listings to refine the results based on my budget and location. After 8 minutes, it gives me a clean table with 4 hotel options, key features and pricing, asking me which hotel would I like to reserve and letting me know that it can then proceed to make the booking for me. It also tells me that it will stop at the final confirmation step until I approve. For this scenario, I'm going to choose H10 Art Gallery Hotel. And now it prompts me to take over to complete the booking. This is a red flag. The agent needs me to step in and manually input my personal details and payment information. When I click take over, I am prompted with a warning saying, "This might put your data at risk. Signing ChatGPT into websites can expose your data to malicious websites." OpenAI themselves have warned us that agents aren't secure to sensitive data yet. Sam Altman even mentioned this risk in one of his talks.
As Casey mentioned, although this is an extremely exciting new technology, there are new risks. People learned how to use the internet generally pretty safely, although of course there's still scammers and other attacks. People are going to need to learn to use AI agents, and society is going to need to learn to build up defenses against attacks on AI agents as well. So we're starting with a very robust system, lots of warnings. We will relax that over time as people get more comfortable with it, but we do want people to treat this as a new technology and a new risk surface and use all of the caution that Casey talked about.
Because of it, I'm not going to enter my personal information or bank details. To compare this, I'm going to open booking.com in another tab and manually run the same search. I'm selecting Barcelona as a city, selecting the same date and then click search. Here, I'm filtering for 4 stars, adjust the price between 170 to 250 and sort it by lowest price first, exactly the same as the agent. As you can see, we find the same hotel, we check availability and then reserve it within 45 seconds. No glitches, no security risks. So while the agent technically completed the task, it was clunky and slow and it still needed manual intervention. The agent only tried booking.com and didn't even attempt to access any alternative hotel booking sites. Maybe a great idea someday, but today it's not worth it. You're better off booking the hotel yourself. For the final test, I want to see how the agent handles a really simple job, so let's give it a prompt like, write a tweet thread about the top 5 AI tools for solopreneurs in 2025. Include a hook tweet, 5 tool descriptions and a call to action at the end. Use engaging language and hashtags. Instead of writing it, it launches the browser, visits a few websites, clicks through a few sites, and then finally drafts the thread. And it took nearly 3 minutes. That's way too much time for something this basic. This is a good example of where the agent added unnecessary complexity. For something like a tweet or email draft, you don't need web browsing. To prove it, here's the same prompt into standard ChatGPT. No agent, no browsing. And just like that, clean formatted thread in less than 15 seconds. And that's all it took. Overall, not worth it. This is a 15-second job in plain ChatGPT, but the agent turned it into a 3-minute marathon. So unless you are doing deep content sourcing, skip the agent for tasks like this. Now, let's talk honestly about the limitation and risks because Agent Mode isn't perfect. First, it's slow. Even for tasks like building a blog or presentation, expect to wait 6 to 15 minutes. It's not terrible, but definitely not instant. Second, it's clunky with modern websites, especially those with pop-ups, sliders, or heavy JavaScript. I tested hotel booking, and the agent completely struggled to use the filters correctly. And most importantly, privacy and security. If the agent ever asks you to log in or enter payment details, don't. OpenAI even says this is still early stage tech.
That said though, this is a cutting edge product. This is a new surface. and we can't stop everything. And so that's why I feel it's very important for the audience to be aware of the risks involved in using Agent. And we encourage users to be proactive in kind of thinking about how they share their information. If it's highly sensitive information, maybe don't share that.
Sam Altman himself warned about the risk of sharing sensitive data, so treat it like a sandbox assistant, not something you choose with your credit card. That said, it's clear this is laying the groundwork for a powerful future tool. As the tech improves and safeguards are tightened, Agent Mode could eventually become a reliable time-saving assistant for everyday tasks. So, is ChatGPT Agent worth using? In some scenarios, yes, it's impressive when it works, and it can save you time on research, content drafts, and building slides. But it's not a magical tool yet. Think of it as a helpful intern, not a replacement for your brain. Let me know in the comments below what would you want to automate with Agent Mode. If you enjoyed this video, click over here to watch my video on how I let AI create a YouTube video from scratch. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.